slice in a cube. Come on, y'all, let's discuss. That's the frame. Dropping hitters to these putting lanes to shame. Hilarious for real. Got the nation on the buzz. Got them tuning in like they addicted.
Hey, welcome to Tootie Talk Sense and happy Monday. Y'all almost said Friday because that's just wishful thinking. Okay, I just wanted to make sure y'all can hear me. Now, y'all know this is a lunchtime live, so it's going to be short, sweet, and to the point. As y'all see the title, the DOJ, the Department of Justice, Trump's Department of Justice had put in a bid to unseal Ghislaine Maxwell grand jury testimony. Now, I don't know if I have went on here and talked about it, but the grand jury testimony, that was just the department trying to distract, because it's like, hey, don't look over here, look over there, because the grand jury testimony is only 2 FBI agents that testify, and that's all it was. So that wasn't the meat and potatoes of the case. So why are we trying to unseal that? And the grand jury testimony, it's a rare occasion where those things are unsealed. And then if they're unsealed, it's because, I want to say, the instances that they can be unsealed, it's because for either a defense attorney or a prosecutor for another case. And they went in there with the reason for unsealing it is for the public. So what judge who believes in the law gonna be like, yeah, let's unseal it? No, that's them being in there like, see, I tried. Y'all see, we trying. We asked the judge. I can't believe that people is falling for this. This is crazy. Hey, babe. But so the judge pretty much said that there's nothing in this grand jury testimony that is going to. There's no details that haven't been released as far as in the files that's already the redacted files. So the judge is saying that there's no reason to go against this protocol that the justice system has stood on for all these many years to release something that is nothing. That he's saying that the meat and the potatoes of the case is what the Trump people, the DOJ system, the Department of Justice already have, and they're free to release that stuff. They just haven't. So the judge is like, I'm not fin to release the grand jury testimony when what you need is actually in the trial case. This is what you need. But they have all this stuff. They can release all this stuff. They haven't. So this, me just making a protocol, or me making this first stance, because in the justice system, once one judge do it, it could be used in future cases as a reason to unseal grand jury testimony. So the judge is like, no, I'm not doing it. The Department of Justice right now has all that information. And they have all the information. They have all the details. They have the files that they can release with names and everything in it. They're choosing not to do it. Releasing this is not going to do nothing but set up the justice system for a bunch of stuff that they don't want. So no, they got them files. Y'all better go ask them for them files. You better go tell them to release what they're supposed to release and stop trying to put that shit on federal judges, because they have what they need. Now, I have said, I don't know if I said it in a previous video, but the TMZ Harvey, the guys over TMZ, Harvey, I forget his last name, Weinstein maybe, but Harvey used to be a lawyer. He have said on his show, the name of his Two Angry Men, he has a podcast, that he have talked to people who have personally seen the files, and he said this a couple of weeks ago. But he said the information that everybody is seeking with the names of the people who are worded, the young girls, are not even in so much of the court cases, the criminal court cases. He said that the information that everybody wants is in the civil cases. These the victims, and some of the victims had came out and said release the doggone files. But the civil cases that these victims had named people. Because if you can recall, just think about P. Diddy case. And P. Diddy's civil case, when Cassie went before he got charged, the case that she dropped, the civil case gives you all the information as far as these are the people, these are the, they give you a lot of details. Cassie said what hotel, when it happened, how many times it happened, what he did, freak offs. That's when the whole freak offs came out. So Harvey is saying that people need to actually be requesting to get the civil cases unsealed because that's where, according to the lawyers who have actually seen these cases, that's where the information is at. So yeah, that is the only update that I have. Now, and JD Vance went and said, and he ain't wrong, he went and said that, he's laughing at the Democrats because they was in office all this time. Because this case goes back to 2006 is where the original Epstein go back. And he said they had these files all this time. So it was, he's laughing at them because now they want to try to get these files released. And it's under Republican control. And y'all should have released it when it was under Democratic control, which is absolutely true. But Democrats at that time did have that. I don't care what they're doing, that's illegal. We're not going to do it that way. And it was that era of when they go low, we go high. No, I have always said when they go low, we go to the devil's feet. Or if I don't know if the devil stand on the ground. If he stand on the ground, go to the ground. If he float, go to his feet. Whatever's the lowest, go there. Cause I ain't no that's how you lost. But so JD Vance have came out. That's an update that he came out and said that. So the DOJ has pretty much said that no, y'all can't, we're not doing that. And also, I believe I reported on it, but just in case I haven't, 2 weeks ago, Maxine Ghislaine Maxwell, she's in prison. She's the one who was with Epstein. She's the only other person who has been charged, even though there's millionaires. There was also a prince. That's the picture that was all a prince over in England who was in these files that a victim came out and said that he was with her when she was 17 through Epstein. They got pictures of her and this prince and Epstein and Maxwell, Ghislaine Maxwell. He have denied it, but so that's who Maxine Max. That's what Ghislaine is. That's who she is. So she at the Epstein unalived herself in prison. She's the only other person that they went out for. She got charged with 20 years. Keep in mind, Maxine, I keep calling that girl Maxine, and that's mixing her first name and last name. Ghislaine Maxwell. Keep in mind, Ghislaine Maxwell in the trial. It came out that not only was she just like a recruiter getting these the youngest I want to say was 13, 14, 15, 16-year-old girls for Epstein and these other millionaires to be with intimately. She also participated in it. She also participated in our wording these girls, these young girls. And she would teach these little 13, 14-year-olds who never seen a man private part. This is what men's like, and this is how you massage their private part, and what a older man wants. That came out in her trial. So that's the one who's in jail for 20 years. So Donald Trump personal attorney went and visited this lady who's got charged with 20 years. She got found guilty. They sentenced her to 20 years. She's in federal prison. His personal attorney, once they wouldn't let this shit go and it was all everywhere and the public was doing an outcry, his personal attorney went to the jail, visit Ghislaine Maxwell in the jail. And then I want to say the next day, but I know it was that week, she got transferred to Club Fed, which is the lightest, which is like paradise, like a paradise prison that sexual, and hopefully they ain't blocking that out, but sexual offenders should not even be eligible to go to that prison. But she somehow, when she had this talk, got transferred. And I'm trying to think, is there another update? Because they was talking about doing a pardon They said at one time it was, Donald Trump was thinking about giving her a pardon, and the people he was with, like, his camp, like, you know how bad that's gonna look. And it also came out that he knew his name was in those files. He said he didn't, but then it came out his the what I won't forget her name, Pam Bundy. And I was like, yeah, nah, we had a meeting. I told him his name was in the file. I know he was looking like, nigga, help me. So that's where it stands right now. And so I'm like, I don't. Oh, and also, I was just watching before I got here. What I tell you, the media controls the masses. I want to say that's in the art of war. That's one of the first steps of dictatorships. You have to control the media because media control the masses. And so at first, all this Epstein thing was everywhere. You seen it on every channel. Reporters started asking about it. Donald Trump was getting pissed at reporters. So then what he did was replace those reporters that was asking about it. They not in the room. They're not asking about it no more. He got Fox, Paramount, stuff like that up under. You don't even see the reporting about it. So they just ran a poll, and before Epstein was, and now it's down 89% of Google searches of Epstein and Donald Trump is down 89% this week. Well, last week is down 89%. And they ran a poll to ask MAGA Republicans, and I think it was conservative, how is this Epstein case important now? And all of them said no, that is not top priority for them. So it slowly seemed to me, slowly trying to fade up out the news because they're not asking about it. When Donald Trump do news press, they're not asking about it anymore, and the news are not covering it like that anymore to make it slowly disappear because Americans, y'all know we just we got a short attention span, and he's just like wiggle a carrot or something else in front of you, and then everybody then forgot about it. So that's what it seems like the plan is, and it may be just working. So, stay woke, people. Now, I'm gonna get on up out of here because I got to give me something to eat and go back to work. Drop in the comments. Let me know how y'all feel about the whole situation. Do y'all think it's gonna eventually go away? Do you think the judge was right with denying, unsealing this grand jury testimony? And also, do you feel like they should go and, because I feel like they should go and get these civil cases and start opening these civil cases as long as the victim agree to it. Because I believe that a big difference that I have seen between Republicans and Democrats is that once Republicans found out Donald Trump was on there, a lot of them started easing away from it. With Democrats, they last week they were like, "Oh well, we're going to subpoena Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton," and I believe they thought that would make Democrats be like, "Well, no." But everybody know Bill Clinton was getting head at work, so that's what he known for. Subpoena his ass. Like, okay. And a lot of Democrats are just like, we don't care who's on there. If they're on there and they did something to little girls, they need to go to jail. Release the files. Where Republicans like, Donald Trump name on there, how much? Fuck them files and fuck them kids. That's how I feel like Republicans are taking it, because I know y'all, a lot of y'all supposed to be pro-life, but it seems like it's only if she's pregnant and want to get rid of a baby, then you pro-life. Because other than that, these Epstein file where they're literally the youngest girl was 13. And they, I want to say during the Epstein case, they said it was thousands of victims, thousands, like not hundreds, it was in the thousands. So with all these famous millionaires and people of position that was at this place and doing this to this little girl, y'all like, yeah, that's old news. And you keep taking the money from the Medicare. There's kids that's on this Medicare, like these wars that a bunch of kids are dead in. You're like, nah. Yeah. When I say pro life, I don't mean once they born. That's just my opinion. Drop down, tell me what y'all opinion. I got to get up out of here. Enjoy the rest of y'all day. I might be back later tonight because what I want to discuss, and don't hold me to it, but in North Carolina, Did y'all see? It's been viral that this black trucker, he ended up going to this site that he's supposed to be dropping off mulch for, and the people that end up, it's white people, a bunch of, it was the man son and the man who owned the company. Some other people came out. They got bulldozers and tipped over his 18-wheeler and accused him of like stealing a phone, but he was recording, so you see he never had get out the car. Then it was also the sinkhole. I think that was in North Carolina, where the guy was like, well, it was a young black guy trying to tell this white dude who's driving down the street, hey, there's a sinkhole. And he ended up going in the sinkhole. I said, look at God, want to do it. But he ended up going into the sinkhole. He survived, y'all. But he got out the car, was like, oh, I would, I would, no offense, but people your color I don't stop for. No offense, the fuck? And it makes me think about the justice for Javion McGee, that he was from Aurora, Illinois. He was a trucker. He was found, initially they would say he was found hung up in a truck stop in North Carolina. And they told the parents that it was, he unalived himself, and the parents does not believe that. Now, the sheriff, there was a black sheriff who refused to say anything about racism. It was alleged that that was a sundown town, but just seeing all this stuff coming up about Carolina and the racism there, I said it makes me think about this case. So I might talk about that again, just to bring that back in, about, because it seems like it's, hey girl, it seems like it's going out the news, and I just want to talk about that again, just to bring it back up into the cycle and give me an opinion about what y'all think. I also want to see what them twins, two black twins, identical twins, who they are saying unalive their self together, and they end up laying like this, foot to feet, but somehow they did it to themselves. So I don't know. I need to get more information and get the videos that I want to pull up so y'all can see the news conference and things like that before I talk about that, because it is a very sensitive subject, and I do know the parents. So I want to be very cautious about the way I talk about it. But y'all, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, follow me on all social media, and I will be back sometime, y'all. Sometime soon, okay? Y'all enjoy the rest of y'all day. Bye.
Scroll in the tube, found a star in the chaos. Shorty spitting facts like a modern day seance.